I'll see you in the land of Mordor. Death awaits you at the border.
Middle-earth role-playing fans, welcome back to the lands of Middle-earth. I'm your host, Roman Daisel, and today we got a little bit different treat here. We got Angus McBride's Characters of Middle-earth. This is 8007 of the series. This came out in 1990, and I did buy it from Imperial Hobbies for like maybe $18, and it's just mostly just if you're a fan and you want the collection. That's all this really is. But Angus McBride became the main cover art guy for the Middle-earth role-playing series by ICE. I'm not sure if he did the other ones that came out for the other series, because Iron Crown had other role-playing games, not just Middle-earth, but this was one of their biggest and most popular. And Angus McBride, he died, I think 10 years ago, was it? He died, but he was definitely the best cover artist they had. You can tell when his work started appearing in the campaign series. So the first one, you can see Treebeard with Merry and Pippin up on the table drinking an entrant, and they're at Treebeard's home in Wellinghall. So we got a picture of Angus McBride. He's got some of his other arts at work, as well as a forward introduction. Now, are you going to use this in a campaign? No. It is just a cool book to look at when you're on the bathroom. So we started with On the Pelennor Fields. So this was the So this cover art was on the Lords of Middle-earth Volume 2, and it has the Witch King on his fell beast with Eowyn, Theoden's underneath his horse Snowmane, and you can see Merry crawling on the ground, and you can see some Riders of Rohan in the backdrop. So that was a really awesome cover. I love this cover. Now, when you look over here, it'll talk the reference in Lord of the Rings. When Eowyn talks to the Witch King, it gives you the setting. Talks about Eowyn, talks about the Witch King, talks about Merry, and then it gives her stats. So we already know their stats pretty much. No big deal there. She's only a level 8, but once she slays the Witch King, she jumps up to a 24 right away. She gets a whole bunch of bonus points for that. The Witch King is a level 60 and Merry is an 8. He probably jumps up a few levels too, because he also manages to stab the Witch King. Next one. This is from the Minas Tirith book. The Enemy at the Gate. Gandalf facing off against the Witch King. Peter Jackson destroyed this scene. When Gron comes through, it's not the Witch King that comes up, it's all these orcs and trolls. It's the trolls, battle trolls come raging through. But in the book, it's actually the Witch King that goes through. So it gives you the whole setting of Gandalf, Shadowfax, and the Witch King. So it gives you the reference in Lord of the Rings. The setting in Minas Tirith, it talks about the characters. And then it gives you the stats. Let's move on. So this cover is from the Kinstrife, which is a later edition. The second or third edition, depending how you view it. The 90s modules, this was on the cover. And it's the Sack of Osgiliath. And these guys aren't from Lord of the Rings, so these guys are different guys. And it gives their stats, so you can take these characters now and use them. This one was from Ghost of the Anduin, Farahel, and the Ghost, and it gives you their stats. That was pretty decent cover art. Not as. This one's from Sea Lords of Gondor. Battle at Sea with the Corsairs. That was I really love that artwork, and talks about Elenarion and Vergellis. Assassins of Dol Amroth, not one of my favorite adventure books, but it talks A Shade in Waiting. Here we got the Far Harad cover art. Ponivik, a Harridan Ranger facing off against Sangarunya, an Umbarian Black Numenorian from the Army of the Southern Dragon. Harridan Vengeance. I thought that was a great piece of cover art. Next up, we have Forest of Tears cover art. Tika the Birdman. Now, ironically, I got in trouble for this one, because my son was into Lord of the Rings. He watched Lord of the Rings with me. My oldest son, when he was in senior kindergarten, I lent him this book. So I said, yeah, take this book to class for show and tell. It's pretty cool artwork. And then when they got to this page, it was like, oh my God, you can't show that to little kids. So I had to go in and meet the teacher and got told that this was really nice, this is really cool, but it wasn't suitable for SKJK kids. So I got to talking to it. We had a good laugh later with the teacher. Whenever I see her, she reminds me. All these little kindergarten kids are traumatized by this. Next up, Warlords of the Desert cover art with a sandrake, Sangarunya. Hazards of the Harried Wood. You got the Desert Garks, Desert Screamers, an Assassination Guild. Too Middle Eastern for my opinion, but here's the cover art for Greater Harad. This is one of the better pieces. I like this one. The guy in the camel looks badass. Something right out of Conan the Barbarian. Oh, one of my all-time favorites here is the Three Ring Race, Gorgoroth campaign book. Yeah, the Witch King and Dunifil and Camul riding down a road from Mount Doom to wherever. That is badass. Next up, we got the Gates of Mordor one. The guy, Kerlink, he's screwed because he's got to fight the orc and then run away from all the other orcs. Good luck, buddy. Brigands of Mirkwood, not my favorite book and not really my favorite cover art. This looks more like the red arrow, the guy with the red arrow in the Gondor Rohan, going back to tell Denethor that the Rohirrim are coming. But, oh well. Denizens of Mirkwood, I believe that's where it comes from. Could be wrong on that one. That's a pretty cool cover art. Like how the orcs are coming out of the keep on a rampage. Creatures book, Smog. So you can't go wrong with Smog the Dragon. Rogues of the Borderlands. This is a undead black Numenorian ghost. Animus, evil cleric. This was one of the Northern Adventure books. Not my favorite book. It would look better as a barrel white. This comes from Dark Mage of Rudar. This is an awesome cover art. The adventure book for this one was really great. We used it a lot. And it has blood whites, which those would be mostly first age things, so Merp definitely took that. This one's from the Aaron Vorn, one of the Cardellani books. It's not Raiders of Cardolan, it's the Woses of the Darkwood. That's where that one comes from. So you got some Woses, some Druidan, fighting a old Dunedain Ranger Mirborn and his companion Aramath. So I would actually use Mirborn Aramath as part of my Cardellani campaigns, because he has the shield with the red hill and the 7 stars. So he's a Cardellani nobleman. Now, this is the #1 favorite scene. This is the Lost Realm of Cardolan cover, and you see the last king of Cardolan, Osterher, fighting Rogrog, the warlord of the Uruk Angmar. And obviously, Osterher doesn't survive this battle, but he does kill 2 orcs in the backdrop. And they're fighting among the Barrow Downs, and you see the men fighting orcs. So that was an excellent cover art there. Ghost Warriors, interesting cover art. Looks more Scottish than anything else. So this is Lords of Middle-earth Volume 3 cover art. You see the Fellowship of the Ring in the Chamber of Mazurbril with Balin's tomb. And they're fighting the orcs and the troll trying to come through the door. This should have been the Moria cover instead of what they had. The Lorien campaign module. You got 2 elves with Galadriel and her mirror in the backdrop. Then we got, of course, Ents of Fangorn Forest, which is also the cover of this book. This is Saruman. Actually, this appears in the late 90s books, or this one appears in the mid 90s books. But you got Saruman sitting in front of the Palantiri. Riders of Rohan. Excellent cover. Mouse of the Entwash. A Mule Whips, which is something that is mentioned in Tom Bombadil, and you got this Rohirrim guy trying to go fishing, doing something anyway. Getting caught. Then the Treasures of Middle-earth Compendium with Celebrimbor. This is the Rivendell, House of Rivendell book, where you got some ring race riding by. Something that never really happens, but it's there. It's got a Cora Hill and Indor Dawn Death. Trying to get in. Interestingly, it has a how much everything costs. This is in US dollars, which is not Canadian dollars. It was much cheaper to buy these in the States than it was in Canada. In Canada, these books cost more like $18 to $20, and then the lesser ones cost more like $12. It wasn't cheap. Most of these books weren't cheap. And then it gives you a list of the locations of where they are. So the one with Orthanc, that's Ice's Isengard for more information, so it doesn't actually... But that's it. Very quick description. You can use a couple of these characters, throw them in a campaign, some of the different ones. Again, you're not going to really use this book. It's just good, makes good bathroom reading. Any Middle-earth role-playing fans, let me know if you guys have this book, what you guys thought of it. Any Lord of the Rings fans, what do you think of the artwork? Pretty cool, I thought. And leave comments below, as well as hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, this has been Roman Daisel. I'm out of here.
From out this barren empty land, nations formed from brick and sand. Now is almost as before.